if we can mute ourselves, I'd love to hear from Mark. See what Mark's been up to this week. I know he's always keeping busy. So get yourselves muted. I'll be jumping in. I've got lots to say. I've got lots to ask. If you've got questions and if you're stuck, I'd love to hear from you. We'll start just a couple minutes early today. And go on, Mark. What's been going down this week?
Hey, buddy. How's it going? You all right? How's life with 3?
Life's good. You know what? Yesterday I actually I've just got home. I've been away the last 2 or 3 days, so I got back like 20 minutes ago. But yeah, the kids seem good.
Yeah, good. I'm glad, man. Three's crazy. 3 children's crazy. I've got 3 myself, so I know.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's been a bit of a crazy week, really. I got my planning permission through today, which is really exciting.
Great.
So that I had to make some amendments, which is a bit of a shame. But the new design's great. It still adds the best part of 240 square meters. So what's that, about 3,000 square foot to the property? So yeah, really pleased with that. That's really good. Yeah, mate, it's been a good week. YouTube's been crazy since you put up your fun little video last week.
We had our online war.
Was that what that was?
I think it was an online.
It felt a bit friendly to be defined as a war.
It was a friendly war. A friendly war. Yeah, for sure. That's great that I hear about planning permission. Give us a couple top tips then in getting planning permission.
So for me, it was working with a good architect, and then understanding the issues that the council faced. So I built a very good relationship with the planning officer and just tried to understand exactly what their challenges were and what they would allow me to do and what they wouldn't allow me to do. So I approached it from a pretty sort of inquisitive standpoint. So they didn't want the new extension to be larger than the existing house, 3 square meters smaller than the existing house. We're talking a very small amount of difference, right? And yeah, I think really it's down to communication, working with a good architect, and then ultimately making sure that the vision is strong, and you sell that in.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's a people thing, right? Same as everything else. It's a people thing.
It is. When you're dealing with the council, even it's a people thing. So yeah, no, that's great, man. Awesome stuff. Well, thanks for that. We've got over 100 people on the call now. I mean, last week we had almost 200 people on the call, which was awesome. So yeah, so the purpose of these calls is for people to celebrate successes, also ask questions if they get stuck. I have got a special guest with me tonight. I've actually got a wonderful lady. Without this lady, I wouldn't be in property. In fact, without this lady, no, I don't think that's extreme. Without this lady, I wouldn't even exist. You know, I wouldn't even.
Mum.
Exist. And you can, yeah, exactly. You can probably guess that. That's my mum. So this is Sue. I'm with my mum right now. And actually, I'll tell you something really interesting about my mum. Okay, a couple of things. So number one is she was a real support and a rock in order when I initially got into property. So I have to credit for that. But also, you know, she's actually killing it right now in property. You know, she's really doing some crazy deals. And I was like, Mom, you know, can I come and vlog like some of your projects, because they're really quite impressive. And I actually went down and I documented little things. So you'll be seeing stuff on YouTube soon. And then I said to her, I said, hey, Mom, I said, you know how like when I started in property, one of the reasons that helped me succeed in property was having a family that was supportive and having people I could talk to. And, you know, I think it's really important to have, you know, a supportive network. And she says, yeah. I said, you know how I've kind of like created that for, you know, hundreds of people on the Samuel 365. She says, yeah. I said, could you come in on that? Like, could you come in? Can you share? Can you come in? And she's actually taking it one step further. My mom now, Sue, is one of the Samuel 365 certified mentors, which is just insane. So that means that, you know, when you go to book a call now, you're going to get my mom, you're going to get Tony, and Tony Crook, as you know, is my mentor. You got Alice Stair, who's one of my best success students. Like the quality of the mentors on Samuel 365 it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The other training companies now are just saying, we quit. Like how can we compete? £95 a month, and you just get unlimited mentoring calls with millionaires and stuff. Like, forget this, we quit. So, you know, it's great, and the only reason we put this together is for everybody on this call. You know, the fact that we've got people on the membership. So thanks so much, folks, for being customers and students. I'm going to interview my mum, Sue, ask her some questions about some of the deals she's doing. Then I'm going to give an opportunity for people to ask questions to me and to her while she's physically with me. And then we're just going to open it up, you know, an Ask Me Anything session about any type of property strategy, anything at all. We're going to open it up, and then we're going to get some successes. I'll pull some people on. Be great to hear from Chloe. I know we spoke last week, Chloe, and we said, what do you need from myself and the team? Keith, good to have you on the call as well. Sean and Dom Bradbury. Again, it's so good to see Sean and Dom on the call. You know, I mean, Sean is Dom's dad. I think I'm right in saying that. Am I right? Am I right, Sean?
You certainly are. You certainly are, Samuel. Yes.
It's so great to see, you know, because like I've just been in Huddersfield with a guy called Tom, and Tom's done a rent to rent in Huddersfield, which is going really, really, really well. And you know, I met his mom and I met his dad, and they've, you know, they were quite skeptical, but now they're really proud of what he's doing, and they can see the results paying off. Tom's just done the deal selling masterclass. He just sold his first deal this afternoon. He's doing a BRR deal, a joint venture with his mom, which is just beautiful. So I'm just really loving what's going on in the Samuel 365 community. And if you've got deals, you know, some juicy deals going on at the moment, and you celebrate on here, it snowballs, because I'll be like, let me come to your house. Let's film it. You know, let's stick it on YouTube. Next thing, you'll be on Winners Wednesday. Aaron Pina, really good to see you. I was trying to call you, actually. I don't know if you got my message, Aaron. I was trying to call you, but it was like a Switzerland number, so I couldn't get through. But yeah, we'll catch up on this call as well. But hey, all I wanted to say is I just wanted to say massive congrats to have you on the E Academy. You know, super glad. Really smart decision. So I hope to speak to you this evening. If not, I'll try to call you again and hope it goes through. But yeah, so apart from that, is everyone feeling good? If you're feeling good, just give me a wave. Let me know you're feeling good. Amazing. If you're feeling rough and you've got questions and you feel stuck, we're here for you. We love you. We support you. So, you know, hold those questions. If you don't get your question answered tonight, book a mentoring call, and let's just have some fun. So, Mum, come on round.
Okay.
You want to bring your chair up? Great. This is like the most exclusive, you know, ever. You know, so thanks so much. All right, great. So firstly, why don't you just tell us a little bit about the deal that you just refinanced, because, you know, the one just today, because that property is, you know, a really juicy little deal. So give me the figures and tell the story, of how you found it and what happened at the auction, because that's a really incredible story.
Okay. So myself and my husband wanted to buy a barn, like a really wreck of a barn, to do it, because we thought it'd be cool and exciting. And we live in the Peak District. So we'd been looking around, gone to millions of auctions, and they'd always gone sky high, the prices. And then we saw this lovely little barn, and it was at auction starting at £100,000. So we thought, that'll go sky high, that will. So let's try and buy it pre-auction. So we rang up the estate agent, and we said, oh, we're interested in buying this barn, and we'd like to give you an offer pre-auction for, and just as we were about to say 100,000, because we thought it would go sky high, they were like, no, we've been told we can't take offers.
Let's role play how the conversation went. Okay, so I'll be the agent, or do you want to be the agent? You be the agent. I'll be the agent. Okay, this is literally what they did. So yes, 32 Church Road. Yep, it's going to auction. How can I help? Yeah, right. Well, we'd like to give you an offer before auction of. Hold on. We cannot accept on any offers before you come to auction. Just turn up on the day. It's on for 100. You need to come to the day ready to offer 100. Okay. Go tell me again what you're about to offer. Okay, but we were going to offer. Just come to the auction on the day. Minimum £100,000. Okay. All right, I'll see you at the auction. Okay. That's what happened, literally, right? Yeah, that is actually what happened. They literally put their fingers in their ears and went la, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. So you tried to ring up, you tried to offer 100 grand pre-auction. They wouldn't even let you say 100 grand. They were like, no, turn up on the day. Yeah. So then what happened? Turned up on the day. Yeah.
decided that 100 was our top figure, and there was hardly anyone there, and we bought it for 80.
It's just funny, isn't it? Give her a round of applause, by the way, folks. That's incredible. So turn up on the day, got it for 80. That, if I was the owner of the property, I would be firing that agent. I mean, to not even let you get your words out, that just shows you guys how stupid some agents are. You know, and we see agents all the time. Maybe they're like, you can't even view it until you give proof of funds. And you're like, what is wrong with you people? Do you want to sell the house? Have you not been instructed to sell the house? Do you want me to find the title deeds of the owner and write to them and tell them how shit of an agent you are? Like, what the heck is going? Like, that's how I feel sometimes. But this is like, you know, how it can backfire on the agents. And of course, you want to have good rapport with agents and stuff. So you went to the auction. You were thinking 100 minimum. Sorry, you're thinking 100 maximum, but you're thinking we probably won't get it. Got it for 80 grand. How did you feel when you got it for 80 grand?
Yes.
You're over the moon, right?
Yeah.
So
amazing.
you bought it for 80 grand?
Yeah.
Then what?
So there was a lot of work to do on it, which we knew.
Well, this is just for the record. This is like a small, completely rundown barn. Like, you know, not even rundown. Rundown's not the word. It's like an animal house.
Yeah, there was nothing in it.
Right? Like, it looks just like there's been horses and hay and stuff like that in there. That's kind of what it was like. But it's very, very small. Like, extremely small. Smaller than, how many square foot is it, do you know?
Not sure. It's a holiday.
Probably about 50 square feet max, I would say. But anyway,
I
go
think
ahead.
it's a bit bigger than that.
I don't think
It's
so.
deceptive.
Okay, go ahead. Go on. What happened?
So so the previous owner had actually put a roof on it and done a little bit of work to it, and then realised, because it had to have planning permission, all this, realised it was a bit of a nightmare and sold it, and that's how the state we got it in.
Very long garden.
Very long garden.
In fact, my mum did something really interesting with the garden, which I think I learned a lot from. I was like, So the garden was really long, but because of how thin it was, there wasn't really anything you could do with the garden. It wasn't actually, you couldn't get planning permission to do anything with it. It was just a long, thin garden. So what she did, when you're trying to do a project in the Peak District or anywhere, especially when you're trying to get planning, as a holiday let, which was the intention, you kind of want to get the community on side. You know, if you've got local farmers that don't like you, it's not really helpful. So what my mom did was she actually kind of not donated, but she said to the local farmer next door, she said, do you want to just use this garden? You can have your sheep on it and they can eat. And, you know, you kind of donated it to them.
Yeah, it's half an acre. It's massive.
Yeah.
So we've cut off the bit we want and put a stone wall there. And the previous owners didn't get on with the farmer next door. So we've asked the farmer if he wants to use this extra bit for his sheep. So he loves us now.
Loves you, good relationship, but also now you've got a free lawnmower, right? The sheep. So you've got a free lawnmower now. It's still your land, you still own it, but you've just given him like a free lease almost effectively, unofficially. So, okay, so then what did you do with the barn?
Yeah, so then we renovated it and it's finished practically. It's just got a few little outside bits to do. But yeah, it's practically finished. All the inside's finished.
So you bought it for 80?
Yeah.
We only care about 3 figures, man. My students only care about 3 figures. They don't care about what you did with the garden or how nice the farmer is. They care about 3 figures. So give me these 3 figures. I want to know purchase price. I want to know doing up cost.
Yeah.
And then I want to know what the valuer, not what you think, not what the agent said. What did the valuer value the property at? By the way, guys, this is juicy, so you want to get this. Go ahead.
Okay, so 80 purchase price.
Yeah.
The do up was 55.
55. So then total you're talking 135.
Yeah. We thought it would be 50, but it was a bit more.
Okay.
55.
Yeah.
We had it valued last week, and it was 200.
200 grand. Awesome. Give her a big thumbs up. Big thumbs up. So you're gonna refinance it.
Yeah.
You're gonna pull out all of your money.
Yeah.
Maybe even more. And then you're gonna rent it out. How are you gonna rent it out?
It's a holiday let.
Okay, so you're gonna do service accommodation.
Yeah.
And how much roughly a week are you gonna get for that?
About £500 a week.
£500 a week. Is that on average or is that just in peak?
No, it'd be a bit more in peak. Average maybe 500.
Okay, so average £2,000 a month, no money down, using the BRR strategy. Also using the serviced accommodation strategy, you know, and this is just one of your deals. Since then you've done, I mean, that was a few months ago now, you just finished that off. You've got a load more going through. What else you got going on at the moment?
We've got a couple of houses in Warsaw in
Yeah.
the West Midlands where we used to live. We've just renovated one. The value last year was 175. We've spent 10,000 on it, and it's now valued at 215.
Nice, cool.
And then there's another one which we bought last year. It's an ordinary 3-bedroomed semi, but it has a huge side garden and back garden. So we've just put in for planning permission for two-bed terraces on that land. So what we're going to do is renovate the house and then sell that for more than we bought the whole plot for.
So it's like a free plot, basically.
Free plot,
and you're going to build on it, or just
and we're going to build on it.
Going to build on it.
Yeah.
Great. So, you know, my mum's still got it. This property thing, doing super good stuff. So if anyone's got any questions, you know, maybe about that, or particularly about, you know, right now I'm going to do questions in a bit, like about rent to rents and all sorts. But if you've got any specific questions about these types of strategies, BRR and stuff, you know, then just jump up and go ahead and ask.
Hey Sue, did it have planning permission on the barn beforehand, and were you nervous buying at auction? I've never bought at auction. I've always wanted to, but do you know what I mean? Like, you kind of feel like
my mum don't get nervous.
Okay.
Fearless, I guess.
Go on.
We have bought at auction before. I'm a little bit like I'm too excited at auction, but yeah. It did have planning permission, yes.
So you had a level of certainty going into it that you were going to have an exit.
Exactly. The planning permission was really detailed. In the Peak District, they're very tight with the planning permission. They told us what colour to paint it, how the windows had to be, everything down exactly had to be like that. So we've just stuck to it. Wasn't really nervous buying from auction. It's just same as anything. Yeah.
I've got another question.
Oh yeah, go ahead, David.
When you actually viewed the property, what intrigued you about it to make an offer before you went to auction? What was the biggest thing for you?
The location. We were looking for a holiday let specifically in the Peak District, and it was half a mile from a beautiful village with pub and shops, restaurants and all that. But it was also kind of like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Edge of the village, and it was just the location. Lovely.
Perfect, man.
Farm.
Look at you, man. Fair play to you.
Right. Anybody else got any questions? If so, just jump up. Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
Hi both, how you doing? Yeah, we're going to see a house tomorrow, the wife and I, that we quite fancy. It's in 1.1 acres. It's got a 3-bed house on it already. I reckon we could probably cut half of it off and do another development on the back of that place. And obviously with you kind of dealing with that already, I wondered how easy it is to kind of get the planning in them areas, and then 2, get the permission to and the money together to develop it. Because obviously I've heard that you can get, you know, not like you can get it fully financed, can't you? I don't know anything about it, so it'd be useful. We live near there. We live in Sheffield, so it's in Sheffield, this place.
Okay. Well, first of all, if it's something like the planning permission depends on the council.
Yeah.
So if it's like for us in the Peak Park, then it's really hard to get planning permission to build anything. It's virtually impossible.
Yeah.
If you're not in a park, you're not in a conservation area, then it will depend on things like the layout of the road, because some roads, they only want, you know, just one big house per plot. So that all needs to be looked at. So you might be able to ask an architect, you know, just get an architect's view on it beforehand.
Yeah.
And so funding wise, if you own the land, then there are some funders that will give you 100% finance, but it depends on the deal. Depends
Wow.
if you've got planning permission. If you don't own the land, you have to put a big deposit down.
Can I answer that question as well? Part, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
So in terms of whether you're going to get planning or not, I think that the best way I'd be able to answer that question is the thing that the councils care about is it fitting and is it in keeping with the area?
Right, okay.
So I'll give you an example, right? We're looking at buying a piece of land 1 minute from my house. Now, piece of land is a big piece of land. Now, it's over half an acre. Now, you can easily build 4 houses on it. Easy. However, it's in Beaconsfield. In Beacons, if you're going to build 4 houses, they're going to be like terrace houses. You don't have terrace houses in Beaconsfield. You have mansions. So the council are going to go, hey, that isn't very in keeping with the area. So the council, when you're trying to get planning, I used to think the council were my enemy. I used to think that, you know, I've got to try and get planning and they're going to make my life difficult. Actually, the council and planning is fair and they're my friend. Because not only do they want me to win as a property developer because there's a shortage of houses and they want more houses, but they also want this to happen. When I'm driving down the road, I'm thinking, this is nice. This looks beautiful. When I get back from most countries, okay, if I'm traveling, I get back to England, I always get back and I'm on the motorway and I get home and I think, this is nice. Everything's clean and green. What a nice country we live in. And that's because of the councils making sure that everything's in keeping, everything's tidy. So, you know, if you want to know if you'd be able to get planning on the land, I would say, well, in the street, has it been done before? You know, what just maybe even go on Google Earth and zoom out and look and just think, would that be fitting? We're buying a piece of land we're supposed to be complete tomorrow, actually. Friday's our deadline. We're completing on a piece of land. Whether we'll build on it or not, I don't know. We might just get planning and then sell it off for planning, or, you know, who knows exactly what we're going to do. But if we, there's going to be 2 options with planning. One option will be, because profit's in the planning usually. So usually if you buy without planning, you're going to be limited on how much profit you can make. If you buy without planning, you can make a lot of profit. So a good strategy is to buy, get planning, and then just sell it. You've got to worry about the build or anything.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking.
Yeah, but this land we've bought, now it's got lapsed planning 10 years ago for 5 apartments. So we're going to try and build 5 apartments. But if we can't build 5 apartments, we know we're going to be able to build 2 houses. How do we know that?
Right.
Because if you look down the street, it's like a couple semis, couple semis, couple semis, couple semis, big space. It'd kind of be pretty fitting for it to be a couple. It's not going to be difficult for us to persuade the council let's build there. When we know as well, because we can look on the website, it's public information. You can see, is this area in need of more houses? You know, so I think that's, you know, that's just a few things I'll kind of say on that point. Does that help, Pete?
Yeah, that's really helpful. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Cool. You're so welcome. So welcome. All right, maybe 1 or 2 more questions on this topic, and then I'm going to pick on some people to share some stories, and then we'll go into some more questions. If anyone's got any burning questions for my mum,
Samuel, can I ask one?
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
So it might be a bit of a stupid question, but development-wise, is it very complicated and dangerous? Because I've had an agent offer me a development deal that she emailed it over to me, and I don't even have a clue the first thing to start on it, so I've just ignored it.
Yeah. Do you want to answer? Or?
I think if you don't know what you're doing, then you do need to get some advice, to be honest.
I agree.
That would be my advice.
Look, do you see me teaching development on YouTube? Do you see me teaching how to buy land and build houses? Probably not. Why not? Because I know that some dum-dum is going to watch, get inspired, go do it, and go bankrupt, and they're going to be upset with me. So what do I teach on YouTube? I teach things like rent to rent, deal packaging, safe stuff. The more money, the more reward, the more risk. The more risk, the more educated you need to be. So my advice, Sam, would be don't. I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm never going to look at it. Who cares? But be very, very, very careful if you don't know what you're doing, because when you're talking about building and conversions and stuff like that, you know, my job is to make things simple, not complex. I'm not trying to say don't do it or put you off. I'm just saying there's a lot that can go wrong. So make sure that you have got good people around you. You've got the right advice. You've done the right training programs, etc.
Yeah, it was like a really, really big deal that got offered. It was like 1.2 million in crew.
Cool.
So
great.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're so welcome, Sam. Go ahead, Gemma.
Hi, yeah. I just want to know what your biggest learning, your biggest lesson was of your recent refurbishment.
Oh. Okay, so I've been in property for quite a long time, but we'd never done a barn conversion. And my biggest lesson was, I was glad that it was a small barn conversion that we did first. Because, you know, like Samuel was just saying to Sam, everything's scaled up. You start on small things, and when you get confident, you scale up after.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to scale up. But I'm glad that the first one we didn't really know people that could build in those limestone bricks. We didn't really know people that could fit treatment plants and all that. And we've done all our practicing on that nice little one. And now we're ready to go bigger.
That's brilliant. So do you think that you'll look for more barns as like your kind of niche now?
I wouldn't say it's my niche. We're kind of spread out with our niche. We wanted a couple of holiday lets, but I wouldn't say that's just what we're going to do now.
Okay, Fab, thanks.
Thanks.
Welcome.
I'll ask you a question, Samuel.
Go ahead, Keith.
How did you go about finding the right builders for the project?
For me?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know anybody. We didn't really know the area that well, although we do live in the Peak District. We've not done any building up there before. We went to local builders, sites and suppliers and asked for a list of people. We used mybuilder.com. And then we just got loads and loads of quotes. And to be fair, we had a few recommendations and they turned out to be really rubbish. So we ended up just finding our own on initiative and yeah, just getting them down and seeing what they were like.
And when you say they turned out to be rubbish, did they start the job and then you have to get rid of them and get somebody else, or did they not get that far?
No, they didn't get that far. They kept letting us down.
Right.
That kind of thing.
If a builder, here's something really interesting as well that I'll say about builders on your point, is if they're not very good at the start, if they're not returning, if they're arriving late and being sloppy and they haven't started the job, that's how they're going to be right through the get-go. Yeah. So you best have to quickly, you got to be really hardcore. If they arrive late, or if they go, oh, I'll start on Monday, and then on Monday you get a text at 9:30 going, oh, my daughter's been a bit unwell, so it's actually going to be next Monday. Forget it. You can't even turn up on time on the first day,
And the other thing they did was, some of them, they gave us a quote and then they increased the price. So like a month later, when it got near to the time they were going to do the job, it had gone up. So we were just like, no. Or
when you try and get an itemized quote from them and timelines with penalties, if they go over the timelines, they're like really funny about it. Oh, forget it.
Yeah. How much do you charge for builders? How much do you?
We don't charge builders at all, actually. They charge us.
Oh, right. In that respect, yeah.
No, sorry. How much do builders charge?
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends. Yeah. I think it really depends on what the job is and what the type of builder is. I mean,
wildly varies.
It could be a couple £100 a day for their actual labour.
Some charge by the job, and some charge by the day. So
it also depends where you are in the country. It can vary massively as well. And it depends what you're doing. Like if you're getting someone to fit a kitchen, you might pay them 150 a day. You'll buy the kitchen, get it from Howden's. You might spend 1,500 quid, and then it might take them 3 days to fit it. They'll probably charge you 500 quid. That's a kitchen. But then if you're building a house, it's quite hard. It's quite a hard question to answer. But I hope that gives you a little bit of a ballpark.
I was trying to kind of gauge a rate,
A rate for what though? An hourly rate, a daily rate, materials?
Possibly hourly or daily.
About £200 a day.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And that's per person, isn't it?
You're welcome. All right. So I'd love to. I'm going to pick on a couple of people, or if you want to pick on yourself, you can. But I want to hear from some people that are winning. I want to hear from some people that are really killing it. I don't know if Tom's on the call. I was with Tom today. Is Tom on the call?
Hi, Samuel.
Hey, what's happening, Tom?
Not much. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Well, you say not much, but that wouldn't be entirely true, would it, Tom?
Not at the moment. No, it's actually been quite busy today.
So Tom today sold his very first deal. And And Tom, let me tell you something about Tom. Tom works as a swimming instructor. He also does rugby. He gets actually paid to play for his for his local rugby club. 18 years old, right? He's been working his bum off for the last however many years, and he's been saving his money. And guess what he did with his savings? He bought the deal selling masterclass, and he didn't feel good about it. In fact, how do you feel, Tom?
Well, it was I've saved up my life savings kind of thing since I was born, just turned 18, and I was a bit skeptical about investing in the training, but I can't thank Samuel enough for the training. It's been great, and if it wasn't for him, then I wouldn't have just made £2,000 today. Congratulations,
my friend. So you made £2,000, which, by the way, that means you've already made a 200% ROI.
Yeah.
That's the thing. People don't think like this. They just, oh, it's a grand. Well, hang on a minute. You made 200% ROI in the last month. But on top of that, what else have you done, Tom?
So I secured my first rent-to-rent deal about a week and a bit ago as well.
18 years old, man. Secured a rent-to-rent deal a week and a bit ago. And how's that panning out for you?
Yeah, that's going really well. So we've got one tenant in already. We've got another tenant in this weekend, and we've got loads of inquiries and loads of viewings for the other 2 rooms that need to be filled.
Amazing stuff. You also are doing a little BRR in Huddersfield.
Yep. So that's a joint venture that I'm doing with my mum, actually.
And I told you today, actually, I was telling you about my mum today when I was with you.
Yeah.
Because he's working with his mom, and he was saying to me, it's a bit uncool though, isn't it, working with my mom? You know, it's a bit uncool doing a joint venture with my mom. And I was like, no. I said, I was doing the same thing when I was 18. You know, you've got to take the cards that you've got and you've got to deal them, you know, and you've got to be grateful that your mom is actually in property and is happy to joint venture with you. She didn't give him a penny, just how like my mom didn't give me a penny. But, you know, you've thought, let me try and I said to you, to keep adding value. So you got a little JV. How much do you guys buy that house for in Huddersfield?
The purchase price for that was £60,000. The refurb has cost £10,000, and we're hoping to get it valued at a minimum of £85,000, which will leave us with £7,000 in. But 85 is the minimum. If we can get it at 90, that'll more or less pull all of our money out.
Nice. Solid deal. 18, man. I mean, very, very, very solid. And it was a real pleasure meeting you today, Tom, in person. And the whole philosophy I have, you know, is very much like that. It's like, you make one move, I'll make 10, you know. And I think just by having Samuel 365, you know, like it's getting us ready to do that. So, you know, make moves and see what happens. Because honestly, I'm constantly on the lookout. I mean, I said to Gemma Edens, I got confused actually. I messaged Gemma the day before yesterday. I was like, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And she was like, what? I'm not meeting you tomorrow. I got mixed up, but we're meeting next month. So, you know, it's people say, Samuel, how much does it cost me to come and meet you one-on-one? I'm like, how much it costs is you putting your all into this business, because I don't charge to me. I didn't charge Tom to come and spend, you know, half a day with him or anything. I just did it because I wanted to, because I saw what he was doing. I thought he's 18. He's taking names and kicking ass. I want to go meet him. I want to meet his folks and see what he's up to. And that's the case of a lot of people. So massive respect, Tom. Does anyone want to ask anything for Tom? If so, feel free, jump in, you know?
Yeah, I have a question actually.
Go on, Ollie. Hey, Ollie, by the way, congratulations for registering for the E Academy, man.
Thank you. Appreciate everything that you've done actually. So really
I phoned you up a couple of days ago as well.
Just after the Freedom Formula intensive. Yeah, you did. Thank you for that, by the way. Appreciate it.
Cool. Anyway, go ahead. What's your question for
Tom? So yeah, Tom, so massive congratulations on your first deal, the BRR rent to rent. Absolutely amazing. I'm a new Academy member. So I wanna find out a little bit more about what you've done. So how the process of your first deal, and did you do a bridging loan for your BRR with your mum? So I just want to find out a little bit more.
Okay, so the first deal was the rent to rent, and that came about basically through the local estate agents sending a letter through the post, basically inviting company lets. So I had a look on their website, see if they had anything online that was appropriate at the moment, and the house that I secured was up for the 575. So I called up and I basically said that I've seen that you've advertised this, I've seen that you do company lets, and I'd be really interested in taking that or anything else that you might have. And within a couple of days, I had the keys in my hand. And then with regards to the joint venture with my mum, we haven't
It's
used.
awesome, by the way. I have to give a shout out to your mom because you know, I mean, she's got a letting agent in the area. Again, she's been in property for a real long time. But, and I know I said this to you earlier, like having a family that support you and are prepared to do things like put properties in their name and stand with you and do joint ventures and stuff. It's just so valuable. And for anyone that doesn't have that, that's what we're here for. We're here to be your property family. But you know, I have to give a shout out to you folks. And also, she was even on the crash course. You know, she came to the crash course with you, been in property for like 20 years or whatever. You know, so you know, mad respect.
I think she might be on this call.
What's that?
I think she might be on the call.
Oh, your mom is on the call.
I think she might be.
Dude, now I'm a bit embarrassed. Hold on, if you're on the call, Tom's mom, you can jump. Ruth, you can jump up.
Hello.
Oh goodness! Well, there we go. At least you know what? You never talk bad about people behind their back because you never know when they could just be in on the call. So it was great. It was great spending time with you today, Ruth.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really fun. Probably one of the most fun days I've had in property in 20 years.
Oh wow, that's saying something. That's saying something. Well, I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot about Huddersfield and the different. And it's really interesting as well. I was talking to Ruth, who's Tom's mom, about how in property you can sometimes get a little bit in a rut sometimes. Not saying Ruth did that, but because the property that Tom got, the rent to rent, Ruth's thinking rent to rent sounds a bit strange. How does this work? You know, and then Ruth's thinking, can you rent a room out with no ensuite in Huddersfield? Does that, you know? But Tom came and it just succeeded. It just worked. So sometimes just challenging the status quo and stuff. You know, what did you think of Tom's rent to rent, Ruth?
Oh, he's done fantastic. You know, he's still at school, and he's out there in between his online learning lessons, absolutely killing it. Just, you know, spending hours every day searching the internet for deals, networking as best as he can through COVID. He's just putting hours and hours in, and it's all paying off for him because it's after a few short weeks, it's all coming together.
Great. And another thing as well, people would say, don't do that, that's crazy, you know, be careful, whatever. So to have that kind of support and moral support is just awesome. So anyone else got any questions for Tom or for Ruth? Go ahead and ask.
Tom. Hey Tom, question. Could you tell us a little bit more about that deal you sold? What was the deal?
Okay, so it was a single let in Huddersfield. It was a 2-bed. I actually, if you were on the crash course at the end of January, I actually presented it on the crash course.
Hang on, Tom. Did you find the deal at the crash course?
Yes.
I mean, come on, folks. This is getting ridiculous now. So Tom came to the crash course. When you came to the crash course, had you been to a crash course before, or?
No, I'd never had any kind of formal like training in property or anything like that.
What were you thinking when you came to the crash course? How were you feeling?
Kind of skeptical. I knew it was 12 hours long, and I thought, is it really going to be 12 hours full of amazing content? And then I stayed till the end, and it absolutely was.
I can't believe that. And if I remember right, you got ticked off with me because you didn't win the £100.
Well, I thought it was the best deal.
Yeah. You found it, but you were upset, right, that you didn't win the £100?
A little bit, yeah.
But then you ended up getting 20 times that because you just sold it yourself.
Yes.
Dude, that's awesome. So it's nice single let, good ROI. Who was the investor that bought it, and where did you find him?
So the investor, he is not he lives in Wales, and he has quite a good job, quite a little bit of money, and basically he actually got in contact. He's known my mum for a while, and I knew that he had quite a lot of money, and I knew that he was invested. I knew that he was interested in investing in property. So I just dropped him and a couple other people in the same situation a message, and all those people messaged back within about 2 minutes, and he was the first person on the phone. And I had him convinced within about 5 minutes, and then sent him the invoice, and I had the money in my bank.
And you were messaging me, man, on Instagram. You were like, dude, what do I send him? What do I do? I'm like, I'm driving home, right, from Huddersfield today, and I see a little Instagram post pop up from Tom, like a message. I'm thinking, I've just been with Tom. Like, what's he messaging? So I literally pull over at the little phone booth. I'm like, right, what's Tom saying? Listen to his voice note, drop him a voice note back. You know, and that's the thing. That's how dedicated I am to seeing people win when people are taking action and when people are doing stuff. And when, you know, so Tom, man, massive props to you for doing that, for selling that deal, finding the deal, for doing your joint venture with your mom, for doing the rent to rent, all within the space of like a month or so.
Yeah, just under 3 weeks, I'd say.
Absolutely incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. Anybody got any other burning questions for Tom?
Just a quick one here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Tom. I'm Terry. Really great story, really inspirational. The deal that you're working on at the moment, the property that you're doing a BRR on, just how did you source that? I'm just interested to know. Sounds like you got a good deal.
Well, it just came up on Rightmove. It was my mum that actually found the deal.
What did you come to answer that question? Because that's also an interesting story.
Yeah.
And you guys viewed the property together and stuff, but I know it was your mum that initially found it, and it'd be great to hear the story of how you found that BRR deal.
This was a deal on Rightmove with an estate agency called Yield It. They specialise in selling properties with tenants in. I saw the property on Rightmove, noticed it was cheap for a 3-bedroom house in the area compared to, you know, the usual sale prices. So I called the agent and he said, yeah, it's for sale at that price. I said, great, what's the catch? And he said, well, actually, the catch is it's got a sitting tenant on a regulated tenancy. So pre-1988, the rents they're on basically can't change. You can't evict them. You're stuck with that rent. So I said, well, you know, thanks very much, but it's not going to be for me because the yield was basically too low. So then that was that. About 3 weeks later, he called me back and said, oh, by the way, just found out that the landlord's let me know that tenant is moving out. Are you still interested in buying? And I said, yeah, when can I look? And he said, today. I said, great, we'll be there. So we went, looked around the house. It had 40 years of nicotine stains on the wall. But I knew that, you know, it was a really good buy because I'd previously sourced a property opposite that one for another investor 7 years ago for 56,000. So I knew this was going to be a good deal at 60. There's one just along the street from that has recently sold for 100,000. So yeah, straight in there with the offer for 60,000. We'll be spending 10 on it, and I'm hoping it'll value 85, 90,000.
Right. And I'll tell you something else as well about that deal. Ruth and Tom came out of the viewing. There was a couple other people around the house, right? As they were leaving the door, they were on the phone putting forward an offer. That's how quick you have to be. Most people think, well, I need to think about it. I need to sleep on it. I need to spend a few days. I'll consult a few people. You know, But actually, you don't. There's not that many facts you need to put forward on a property. You need to know, what are the other houses selling for in the street? Quick, target that on Rightmove. How much is the refurb roughly going to cost? It doesn't take long to work that out if you know what you're doing. So there's just a few basic, and then you can put forward an offer. No messing. So that property was being rented out. The tenants had been in there for 40 years, paying peppercorn rent because they were protected tenant. The price was really low, but then when the tenant left by choice, it snapped the property up at the low price. So phenomenal story, and it's great to hear. People, and that's the thing. The purpose of these calls is also to network and to hear what other people are doing and to be inspired. So do connect with Tom and Ruth. But that's incredible. So hey guys, an input. Joe, what's happening? Joe Nicole, what's going on?
Hi man, how are you?
I'm really well. Good to see you. What's have you working on any deals? Have you done any successes you want to share?
Yeah, we're doing a deal at the moment. I'm working with Anthony Wilmot. He's helping me out on a deal with a BRR. We've been on a call for the past year with Alistair and Ricky, which has been amazing, really. So we're gutted the finish, but it's exciting to try something different and meet some of you guys. So,
dude,
yeah.
This is it. Network is everything. So it's really good to have you. It's really good to have you on the call and exciting to hear about your deals. Also, as well, great to see Angie Cherry as well on the call. Angie, you might remember her. She was on a Winners Wednesday, literally like a couple of weeks back, working on some great stuff. Angie, give us a little update. I've seen you busy on socials and stuff. What's happening?
Viewings, lots and lots of viewings, and also trying to get my flats up and ready and ready. One's rented, one isn't. And basically the market's changed slightly, so I'm trying to get everything done as fast as possible so I can revalue at the best price, and pull all my money out plus several tens of thousands hopefully. So that's good. And I'm just looking for some more BRRs at the moment, so fingers crossed on that. It's all looking pretty good. I'm quite buzzed actually.
All right, is Patricia on the call? I know she's been doing some awesome stuff as well. It'd be great to hear an update from Patricia.
Hi.
Patricia, what's happening?
Hey, what's happening?
Yes, give us a lowdown.
Well, today was fun. So I got to meet Anthony and David Taylor today for the first time, which was just really, really wonderful. We looked at a barn conversion together, and it's going to be a really cool project. But it's just so great to you work so closely with these mentors. Every week you're speaking to somebody, and they're so involved in everything that you're doing, and they're so helpful. And so it's really, really touching to sort of see them in real life and sort of, get to know them a little bit better. So I was really grateful for that. I had a mentor call with Ricky this morning or this afternoon, which was great. And so just full with a lot of property family love right now. All of my peeps are on this call. Everybody, I'm scrolling through these pages and pages, and I see all of these people who I speak to on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and we're all really helping each other. A lot of people here I've had one-on-one calls with, like Ange and just everyone, even Hannah, and then everybody else. It's great. It's great. I'm really excited.
Awesome. Anybody else that's done some deals, wants to share?
Yeah, I would like to share something, Samuel. I don't know if you remember me. The last crash course, I won the best deal.
Of course. I do remember you very well.
On the last call of the Samuel 365 last Wednesday, I reached out to Graziella because obviously Italian folks, and I thought, I'm just gonna make a connection there.
Yeah.
And I explained from my deals of last week at the crash course, 2 weeks ago, the crash course. She seems interested, so I said, obviously I just started. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just out there, and Graziella said, yeah, it seems great deal, so she's trying to sell it for me. So I'm really, really happy. It gave me the bump to just crack on and carry on.
Absolutely fantastic. Hey, great job. I knew you'd kill it. But you got Evans and Lawton and David on the call right now. I mean, they've been on the call every week since the Financial Freedom Challenge. They don't have to. They could say, you know what, I'm good now, made a load of money, got some rent-to-rents. But every single week they've been on the call. Why do you think I picked to do the Financial Freedom Challenge with them? Because they're probably going to become financially free anyway. I just wanted to do it quick and take some credit. Like, it's not me, it's them. You know, so I'd love to hear what, maybe I'm being too harsh on myself and my input. I don't know, but like, I'd love to hear some input of like Lawton and David and Evans.
Hey, what's going on? People that you do the FF challenge with, it's people like you say, you know, they take 2 steps forward, you're going to take them steps with them as well. You can't make people do the hard work. You can only show them how it's done. And then once they've jumped off the cliff, you know, they've got to grow their own wings and fly.
I refuse to even come in the meeting with you to get your big development deal.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because otherwise, there's no point in you coming in with me every single time for every single meeting, for every single, even estate agent meeting.
Correct.
Because when you're not there, how am I going to do it on my own?
Correct. How have you been getting on, bro, the last couple of weeks?
Oh, it's been crazy. It's been absolutely mental. We've just completed on a couple of investors' projects. One this week, one next week, and then the refurbs are starting there, turning them into HMOs. We've got a deal that's packaged up and sold this week already. I've not even sent it out to anybody. I only told one investor and he's took it already. So I'm taking him up to see it on Saturday.
Good.
Just networking, you know, showing up, doing what most people won't do every single day.
Yeah.
You know, I'm at that point where, like, obviously everyone knows, like, I don't actually have a job. I'm just doing this full time. Like, you know, I could stay in bed all day if I wanted to, but that's not going to get any type of results at all.
No.
So it would be absolutely pointless. So every day I still wake up, I'm out the door for like 8:30, 9, and I'm on the road. I'm viewing, I'm out and about meeting people.
You know what? Here's my advice to every single person on this call. Go do a financial freedom challenge. Just do it. You know, don't wait for me to come to your house. Obviously, you guys are already on 365, you're doing the training, but like, just go do it. Just say, you know what? I'm going to book a week in my diary. I'm going to block it out. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to do a financial freedom challenge. And I'm gonna, you know, just see what happens. I'm gonna put pressure on myself, and because you know what, you know, the pressure we put on ourselves when we do the financial freedom challenge, like it's real. You know, it's real. Evans, anything to say?
Yes. I got lost to say. I mean, you pretty much just you know, hit the nail on the head. I mean, your presence that week was amazing. It definitely had a huge influence, but like, you know, I have to put in all the work. So I think you could not phrase it any better. You know, your training is amazing, best training I've ever had. However, it's not a magic wand. You're not gonna like become successful through osmosis. Like, you have to put in the work. So one thing I'll say, if anybody, you know, looking at this, even today, a guy was asking me today, is like how well do you know Samuel? Are you close to him? You know, do you have his number? I was just like, yes, like do you speak to him every day? I'm just like, no. He's just like, why? I'm like, because it's not like I don't need Samuel, but I kind of like don't need Samuel. He's giving me all the training already. You know, he's giving me a platform to win. So I'm not gonna bombard it because I don't really need him to obviously do it. He's given the knowledge. It's a system that everybody can obviously plug into and win. So ultimately, what I would say to anybody, obviously, you know, looking at this live right now, is that you don't need me, you don't need Samuel. You know, all you need to do is take the training, you know, copy and paste. Don't try to change any, you know, anything. And yeah, you can do it, man. You literally, if I can do it, like you guys on the call right now don't know me. Like, you only know what you see on YouTube, but you don't know me. She knows me, and she can tell you, like, if Evans can win in property, any Tom, Dick, and Harry can obviously do it. I can assure you that. So yeah, that's what I'll say.
Like, me and Evans me, Evans, and Ellen, I should say, the three of us did an interview. In fact, it's just gone up on YouTube. That's Evans, and that's Ellen, but she looks like Anthony Joshua. Yeah, we just did a full-on interview, you know, following on from the challenge, like a Winners Wednesday interview, and it's so inspiring. You know, you need to listen to these guys. Get down to Winners and listen to their interview. And Evans, you know, was in a rough place, man. Evans was suicidal not too long back. You know, the bottom. We didn't even talk about that on the Financial Freedom Challenge or anything, but you know, he's in a bad place. And now him and Ellen, my goodness. And he says he doesn't need me anymore, but he still messages me all the time asking for help. Samuel! Dude, some of the stuff you've been asking me for, though, have actually been legal stuff as well.
Yeah, I know, right?
You know, so super cool. David, what's good?
So, as I say, Evans, Lawton, you're definitely right. I do get people contacting me saying, you know what, I would love to do an FF challenge with Samuel, but your presence is there. you're really putting the pressure on us. We have got the knowledge from your training. You know, it's no different to anybody else. We've done the 365, we've done the DSM, and it's just putting pressure on yourself every week. You have to hold yourself accountable, because if you back off, nobody's going to move into your life and give you results. You really have to go out there. You will get bad days, but it's just be persistent, and the results do come.
I'm so excited about your financial freedom challenge coming out.
I know, I can't wait.
You make Lawton look like such a pussy the way you just walk it in the park.
I know. Easy. It was easy.
Like, how did it happen? How did me and Lawton go to every single agent in Manchester and get rejected, and then me and David walk out with a frigging signed contract pretty much on our very first visit to like, it blows my mind. But David, we smashed it, and I know you've done a lot since the challenge as well, which is just incredible. So these guys did the financial freedom challenge with me. Massive props to them all, because they all put the work in and they all got results. And the reason I chose to do it with them was because I knew that they'd put the work in, and they did. Apart from Lawton, he's a bit lazy, but he knows I'm playing. I pick on Lawton because I know he can take a joke, and because he's very muscular, and I'm very jealous. But
hey, can I just jump in quickly and just highlight something? So I was, just before we jumped onto this call, I was watching Evans's Winners on a Wednesday, and he mentioned something where he said, he thought that he worked hard, and I thought the exact same thing. Like, he thought that he worked hard. I thought that I worked hard until you came to our house. Yeah. And then I was like, shit, this guy is like a machine. Like, he grafts. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm out every day, I'm dressed, I'm ready to kill every single day, but literally, like, you are on another level. So it was just like a shout to Evans for saying that, because that was like, I've literally only watched about 5 minutes and then jumped onto this call, watched the rest of it afterwards. But when he said that sentence, I was like, I know exactly what he means. Like, anyone could do a financial freedom challenge at any week. You just do what you're going to do, but times it by 10.
Yeah,
that's probably a financial freedom. Well, times it by 100. That's probably an FF challenge.
Me and Lawton doing stuff together. Like I have a car crash. It slows me down 5 minutes. My day, 5 minutes out. Having a car crash is going to slow me down 5 minutes, because I'm not going to be like, oh, I've had a car crash. Let's talk about it. Let me call my wife and tell her what happened. Can you believe someone hit into my... Like, no, we got business. I'm doing nothing else. I'm not taking calls from my wife.
We still wasn't late for that viewing either. Still got to the viewing.
I'm using it to my advantage. I'm like getting to the viewing. I'm like, hey, we just had a car crash getting to this viewing. You need to be kind to us now, Mrs. Estate Agent. Like, literally, I was doing that. Turn everything to your advantage. I'm not taking calls from my wife. When I'm with my wife, I'm with my wife. When I'm working, I'm working. I'm not mixing stuff up. When I'm in the shower, I'm in the shower. No, I'm serious. Because some people have just constantly got all these thoughts all over the place, but they're not actually getting anywhere. Me, I'm in the shower, I'm enjoying the shower, and then I'm getting out the shower, and I'm just focusing on what I'm doing at a time. I think that's super important. When I'm meditating and clearing my mind and speaking to God, I'm doing that. When I'm working, I'm working. And when we do the financial freedom challenge, we're working all the time, unless we're sleeping. But that's short. We get up and we work. We don't stop for breaks and food. I remember when I did my financial freedom challenge. And I remember Evans was like, Can we stop to get some food? I was like, to me that was a strange thing. You can't just stop in the middle of a day to go and get some food. I said, what do you want to eat? He goes, I was thinking Chinese. I was like, brother, are you joking? Maybe we'll swing by a petrol station and grab a sausage roll. Maybe. But stop for China? What? You kidding me, brother? Do you remember that, Evans? Come on.
Yes, I remember. I remember loud and clear. I was starving. I think that was day 3. I was just like, I need some proper food, Samuel. Allow the petrol stations. So it was like Chinese. Are you having a laugh? It was just so funny.
But he eats Chinese very fast.
What's that?
He eats Chinese very fast. Like 2
Oh yeah, I bet he does. It's not the eating the food; it's the waiting for the food that would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think as well. The thing is, it's like people that say to me, Samuel, can you come and move into my house? They wouldn't want me to move into their house. Believe me, After 24 hours, they'd be begging me to leave the house. Believe me. Am I right, David?
You know what? It was intense because you just don't sleep. You just start first thing in the morning. Samuel's there. He's on the phone. 2 o'clock in the morning. Samuel's still on the phone. He goes, "Did you make any viewings? Did you book anything?" You just don't stop. And as you say about thinking ahead, I was going to you one day, well, what are we going to do tomorrow? You says, just focus today.
Yes. That's a really interesting point, actually, because I remember with, I'll come on to you in a second, Julia, but I remember, I think it was when I was with you, David. I can't recall. It was probably all three of you a little bit, but I remember it, like, we were out trying to find a deal. It was actually, I think, when I don't remember, you can tell me, but I remember when we were out trying to find a deal because we needed some money. We needed some cash, and the person I was with was trying to line up a rent-to-rent. We'd viewed a rent-to-rent before, and I was like, forget that. Right now, we focus on one thing. That's it. Was that you, David, or was that Evans? I can't recall. Maybe it was all three of you, but it was just like, today's this day. Right, new day. Now we focus on getting a rent-to-rent. Next day, right, now we focus on getting a lease option agreement or getting all the paperwork signed. We're not doing anything now. Stop trying to sell a deal. We're not doing anything until we have the paperwork signed. We're not phoning our wives. We're not eating. We're not doing anything until we have the paperwork signed. That's kind of like how our financial freedom challenge is structured. I don't know what you guys would have to say about that. If that kind of rings true, I can see you all nodding.
Well, that definitely wasn't me with the rent-to-rents, was it?
No, it wasn't you. What were you going to say, Evans?
Yeah, I said that is true because I can recall. I think it was the second day. I was just like, Samuel, I've got this house for Ellen. What do you think? Should we book a viewing? It's just like, no, we're not booking a viewing. We're getting rent-to-rents today. I was just like, okay. But you know what? Like, literally, even on Friday, I was in Graziella. I was telling Graziella exactly the same thing. Just focus, because what you taught me that week, like it's just changed. I mean, it's not about what I achieved. It's about what I learned from that week. It's just like, it's crazy, man. It's just like, I just focus on one thing now, one thing only. So, well done to you, man. Thank you so much, Samuel.
No, it's real cool. And you guys are going to love seeing David. David, go ahead.
Yeah, I will say one thing, because even your flight was on 2 o'clock on a Sunday. You had to be at the airport, and you still insisted having a meeting on that Sunday morning. You know, a business meeting. So it just shows you actually don't stop. You know, and this was right up until the last minute. So
yeah,
it just takes the effort, and anybody can do an FF challenge themselves.
They can. The thing is, though, what most people when we're trying to achieve in 7 days, what most people would achieve in 7 years. Or in never, you have to work like a beast. Like, you just cannot. And I don't work like that all the time, by the way, folks. Like, I do have time off. I do take time off. But when I'm working, I'm working.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I've just come back from the Wirral today. I got back about an hour ago, so that was really cool. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Oh, no, that's good. I reached out to Grazella, and she kicked my brain in gear. I just thought, come on, take some action, get moving. So so I've gone to the Wirral twice. I've booked in with Sandy to go to Doncaster next week, and I'm clearer about what you've just said, strangely, which is take action on that day, get out there, get looking. I'm confusing myself a bit, but I've made 3 offers. And one of the questions I was going to say to you, if they don't pick you up on it, do you just walk away, forget it, move on, or would you go back and revisit them?
Okay, great question. So what I would not do is I would not wait and just think, oh, I've put forward an offer, and give it any mental thought. It's not going to sit on my brain. Okay, that's the first thing, because a lot of people put forward an offer and then they wait to hear back before they take any action or do anything else. Whereas what you need to do is put forward an offer and then next. In terms of would I ever go back? Yes, I probably would. I would write down that you've put forward an offer if you can. I mean, if you're organised enough to. Just have a little notebook or a little.
Yeah, I have done that. Yeah.
Every time you put forward an offer, just write it down. Write down the address, the agent, the Rightmove link, and the amount that you offered.
Yep.
And the date that you offered it. Okay. And then what I would do is every few weeks, just ring up and go, hey, how's it going? You had any do you know what as well? Something that I've done quite a few times is, you could say it's almost a bit mean, but it's just something that I sometimes do, is I'll offer on a property. So let's say I offer 102,500. It's always specific, my offers. 102,500. I'll put it forward. I'll then ring back after 2 weeks and I'll offer just slightly less. Right?
I like that. I like that.
I'll offer slightly less. Right? I'll ring up. Hey, I know I offered 102,500 2 weeks ago, but I'm just ringing to say that I've revised my offer and my new offer is 101,500. You know, that's on the table right now. You know, for the next couple of days, let me know. The agent will come back to me. Oh, they said no. All right, cool, no problem. I'll ring up 3 weeks later. Hey, my offer's 99,500. You know,
and can I say that David Taylor is absolutely awesome, because it's silly, I do deals in the IT space and I'm fine, but I wanted to make an offer on this and I suddenly got to the weekend and I went, what do I do? And I sent out some emails and David just rang me on Sunday. He's just awesome. And just talked me through what I was trying to do. And I think most of it was what I was doing was okay, but it was just that reassurance. It's just, you can't underestimate it. It gives you real confidence. And he's, as you say, he's the kindest man. And he was really, really, really nice. And the other strange thing that came up this week is I saw a link for crowdfunding. And I thought, that's an odd way. So I thought I'd put a question on Facebook to say, is anyone thought about doing crowdfunding for sourcing for properties?
Well, as an individual or going to a crowdfunder?
Well, both, I suppose. But yeah, I thought it was an individual, yeah.
I guess there's two ways you could do it. Number one is you could go to an existing company that does crowdfunding, like for instance, Crowdfunding Property by Simon Zuchet, and you could go, hey, I got a deal. In which case, that's very similarly to almost a bit like bridging. They'll lend you money, they'll want a charge, etc. Yeah, it's a very reasonable way to get money. Another way would be if you were trying to do it yourself, i.e. get a bit of, but then you definitely want to get legal advice on doing that, because there are, you're not FCA regulated and you're trying to get people to put money in and they're not accredited investors. There can be issues. So I'd probably seek legal advice before doing that. But yeah, it's fine.
Awesome, thank you.
Last week, I would just want to say I was absolutely overwhelmed last week at the reviews that came flying in. Like, honestly, it was, I'm not kidding, it was the highlight of my entire week. The call was fabulous, the support, the love, and we had about 100 people leave a review on either Trustpilot or Google. Every single one was positive, every single one was genuine. I don't know why it happened. Every single call, I always ask for reviews. And normally, Patricia, Kilty, and Graziella, yeah, like there's normally like 2 or 3. But like honestly, I was just overwhelmed, and I was just saying to my wife Amanda, like on the Wednesday morning, I was just like, I don't know why everybody is just suddenly taken to the social media to start leaving reviews and stuff and raving about what. But I was just really, really touched. So you know, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for that. I was very, very, very grateful. I know Graziella. I saw. Graziella's left me a lot of reviews, but you know, just massive, massive, massive respect and thank you. You know, because it makes it worthwhile for me as a trainer. If I haven't had the opportunity to speak to you this evening, or if you haven't had your question answered, I think there was just. Did Julia? Have you been wanting to speak? I think Julia did, and then I'm gonna.
Yes, about the FF challenge. I wanted to say, sorry, coming back to that point, that I found that really, really inspirational. I think it's great what you do with people. And I was wondering, really cheeky question. Will you do an international, so outside UK FF challenge one day?
I've done one, you know.
You don't want to?
No, I did one. I'll probably do one.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Number one, I did one in Ireland.
No, I mean outside, I mean, when I mean outside UK, I mean outside like Europe, in Europe.
Number two, I did one in America.
America, yeah.
Ah, I didn't know that one in America. Nice.
But hey, where are you from? Where are you from?
Italy.
Maybe I'll do one. In Fact, I do want to do one in Italy. I've got some really interesting things.
Come on, Samuel.
But right now, I've just done 3 financial freedom challenges, pretty much back to back. So I've created a new term, and that is I am FF'd out right now. Like,
okay.
You know, but sure, I definitely would be open to.
Keep it in mind, please.
I'm open to anything. I just do things spontaneous. I'm open to anything. So
yeah, that's why I like you so much, because you're so open to challenges. That's why I wanted to
open
challenge.
to challenges. I'm open-minded, and I just do things off the cuff, you know, spontaneous.
Cool. Thank
So,
you.
Absolutely. Okay, guys.
Let me just say about the reviews.
Yeah.
I put a review on
I
Trustpilot.
saw your very kind review. Yeah.
Then they wrote to me, Trustpilot wrote to me saying, we've removed the review for now. We need for you to explain a bit more. And there wasn't anything too detailed in there. So I replied to the email, and then I got another email back the day after, said, no, we've completely removed the review.
Really strange. Trustpilot are very, very strict with reviews. If they sense that the review is not completely genuine for whatever reason, they don't allow the review, whether it be good or bad. But that's really strange. I'd probably suggest just maybe trying again. I did actually read your review because it did show it must have disappeared. I think you actually credited, was it Dave Taylor or one of the mentors? I did read it, so I'm not sure why that happened, but you know, maybe.
I didn't put any links in there or anything like that to like take you to all the web pages or anything like that. So I don't know why they questioned it. Really.
Don't know.
Anyway,
but thanks for it. Maybe try again. And yeah. All right, guys. Well, listen, folks. Thank you so much, as I say, for the reviews last week. Great to see you all. Have a wonderful week. Kick ass. If you get stuck, book a call. If you're on your trial of Samuel 365, if you're on a trial, by the way, if you're still in your trial, give me a wave. Okay, so there's quite a few people on the trial. Great. Well, we hope you stick around. It's £95 a month, unlimited mentoring, weekly calls, and Natalie Brown, that's great. Julia, great. Thank you, Gemma, that's awesome. And if you get stuck, give us a shout. We appreciate you. We love you. And I can't wait to see you at 8 p.m. next week. If you haven't left a review already, I ask every week, get down to Trustpilot, Samuel Leeds Trustpilot, leave a review if you haven't already. And we really, really appreciate you. So I'll see you next week, 8 p.m. And in the meantime, go kick some ass and get some deals.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
everyone.
See you next week.
Bye.
Oh, man.
Bye.